Hello, hello. I am so excited to be live again as I committed to everyone. So, if you are meeting me here for the first time, this is a train in motion. I went live every day last week. I plan to do the same this week. In fact, I plan to do it for the rest of the month. This is a challenge for me. This has allowed me to reconnect with my voice, reconnect with my mission, and feel amazing about the experience that I've been called to curate. I'm so excited about Corporate to Entrepreneur Live. I'm excited for the transformation that is going to happen in the women who are going to join me there. If we have not met, my name is Denise Taylor. I am corporate executive turned business strategist and coach, and I help women who have been called to launch a business, called into entrepreneurship, especially as a continuation for their professional corporate success. Last week was incredible. If you missed last week, you missed an absolute treat. Not only did I show up to empower you each and every day, but I had an amazing guest on Friday who shared from her heart. And so if you missed any of the days last week, I want to invite you to go and check it out. You can access them all on my YouTube channel. I created a playlist. So when you hit my channel, which is at Denise Taylor Live, the playlist should be there for you to tap into the CEO Shift live stream series. I'm going to add today and all the subsequent days. My commitment was to show up every weekday this month because I remember what it was like when I was at that crossroads in my career, when I had achieved a lot of success that looks good on paper, but deep within, I felt this internal nudge to make a pivot. Now, when I was in that place, I remember exactly how Sunday nights felt. You know, for high achieving corporate women who have been quietly feeling the pull towards entrepreneurship, Sunday night is rarely just a Sunday night. I remember when I was at that crossroads, when I knew that I was being called to something different, something greater, something more, it was like a cocktail of emotions. I would describe it as a tug of war between being grateful and having gratitude for my career. At the same time, the quiet hum of dissatisfaction, disconnection, unfulfillment that I just could not shake. And so on Sunday nights, that seemed to be the night when it would rear up the most, when I would be at that tug of war of being grateful for everything, being grateful for the life I've been afforded, being grateful for the achievements I had accomplished, being grateful for the experiences that I get to enjoy, being grateful for the doors of opportunity that I open for others, being grateful for the opportunity to coach and mentor so many incredible people who have been a part of my teams and worked with me throughout the years. I was grateful for all of that. But that quiet nudge, that quiet hum of disconnection, I just couldn't shake it. And so I know exactly what some of you likely felt last night. You hit that Sunday night where you felt the heavy with a sigh of autopilot. You found yourself doing what you've always done, preparing for Monday. You found yourself checking your calendar. You found yourself making sure you were ready to show up polished and competent. But in your chest, it felt a little tight. And in your energy, it felt a little low. I know exactly what that feels like to have a heavy with a side of autopilot. I've been there. And I also know when you are looping this reoccurring thought in your mind, the thought that says, is this it? Even if the week ahead is going to be just fine, it's hard to ignore the fact that you're just not excited about it anymore. And so as the Sunday evening starts to settle in, you start to ask yourself, is this it? As you're prepping all of the things for the week ahead, you're asking yourself, is this it? In fact, it's very likely that on your drive in, even if that drive was just a simple walk from one room to another because you're remote, you're still looping that thought, is this it? And so I know exactly what that Sunday night feels like. There's these small flickers of rebellion. You start to fantasize about calling in, calling off. You even fantasize about maybe breaking up the monotony and trying to work differently to see if you can get some relief to the nudge. I know those looping thoughts, those thoughts of asking yourself and reassuring yourself, I'm good at this, but I'm not sure I love it anymore. I know those looping thoughts. The thoughts of, I work too hard to feel this uninspired. I know those looping thoughts, those thoughts of, I'm grateful or I should be grateful, but there has to be more than just meetings and reports and keeping things going. I know what it's like to think through that and still feel the nudge that there's more success for you ahead, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be connected to what you've done previously. You even fantasize about going off and building something on your own. But the one question that you stumble on and that often keeps you at bay is, where do I start and when am I going to start? I know all of those thoughts oh so well. I know all of those feelings oh so well. And to try to chase it off, I know what you do. You just keep reminding yourself of the responsibilities you have. You keep reminding yourself that you should be grateful. After all, you work so hard for this role, for this money, even for your reputation. You just keep reminding yourself and trying to fast pass by what you feel. But deep down, you have struggled, and you struggled for a while, and you just can't seem to ignore that low hum of dissatisfaction that seems to grow louder every single Sunday night. Now, if you were with me last week, I tried to affirm some things for you. The first thing I tried to affirm is it's very likely not burnout that you're facing. And a number of people are facing burnout. They are over tilt on what they've been bringing to work and how much they've been giving of themselves. But for you, it's not that. Your capacity isn't at its limit. You still know that there's something in the tank that you could offer up to what you're doing, but you're holding back just because of the disconnection that you feel. So last week, I should say, we addressed the difference between burnout and misalignment. So what you're feeling on Sunday night is not burnout. That's not the situation with you. Your capacity is in check. You're just not connected. The other thing I want to affirm for you is it's not necessarily boredom. It's really something deeper. What you're experiencing when you are at this crossroad is the quiet knowing, and it's something that you're very sure of. Like, you don't have any doubt about what I'm about to say. It's a quiet knowing that you were meant to build, not just belong to something else that you give all your talents, gifts, and abilities to. And as I said last week, and I will always say, corporate America did right by me, and it's actually done right by a number of people because it taught us the rules of engagement for success. It gave us a rule book, a pattern to follow. And those of us who achieved great success in it, we learned and we benefited from it. But just because it's what you've always done doesn't mean it has to be what you always do. And when you find yourself at this crossroads, when it's deeper, when it's this quiet knowing that you were meant to build, you were meant for more, it just isn't enough to keep going through the motions, to keep doing autopilot, to keep allowing the heaviness to weigh in. You know that it's time for you to take your brilliance and build. And if you're honest with yourself, you've likely been saying that to yourself for a while. So this isn't a new thought. My job in these days of this live stream series is to really help the woman who is at this crossroads in her career. I wish someone was showing up and bringing some validity to what I was actually feeling. See, on the surface, it will look crazy to be interviewing for the biggest title in your career and thinking to yourself, this is not what I want. Throw every indication, every org structure, every career roadmap says this is where you go next. It was as if my resume said executive, but the calling on my life said entrepreneur. I knew that I was called to do something amazing in the marketplace. And I'm so glad that I did not force feed myself the continued success in corporate America, even though it did right by me, but that I was courageous to make the pivot and follow what I was being called to do. And so through this year series, I am showing up to share wisdom from my own journey. I am showing up to fuel you to make your own corporate to entrepreneur journey as well. And I'm showing up with an opportunity to get in a room moving in the direction that you want to go, dare I say, called to go. So last week was the kickoff, and we had 5 amazing days where I helped to unpack all of the racing thoughts and help you get settled around the fact that you need to move forward. And the reason why I'm doing this now is because every time I talk to someone, they say, I got to get ready. And you have get ready time. The invitation is for you to meet me in person in October, for you to join me at Corporate to Entrepreneur Live. And when you step into that room, things will change so that you finish this year strong. But not only that, it's also going to set you up for amazing success next year as you begin and accelerate in your journey. So if I had to describe corporate to entrepreneur, and I have to tell you, I'm really excited about it. I spent some time over the weekend curating some different experiences that all of the women who join me will get to enjoy. But if I had to describe it, I would say it's a business incubator slash accelerator slash community all rolled in one. You see, I'm real serious about success, and I've been serious about success for a long time. So this is not a hangout retreat. This is not the experience that you take for all, your friends that like to go on the girls trip. That's not what this is. This is for you to show up for what you're being called to do, especially if you sense that it's time for you to step into your business, one that you feel called to do, one that has so much potential for impact and income, one that you need to step up and start. So this experience that we're going to have in October 25th and 26th in Charlotte, North Carolina, I am curating some amazing elements that boast so many resources and personal touches. I am excited for every woman who will join me. And I want you to know, if you've resonated with anything that I have said, this is my personal invitation to you to get in the room with me. I know what Sunday night feels like. And if you felt like any of the things I shared before, and you know that it's time for you to be honest about what you sense you're called to do, you need to be in the room with me in October. So last week, we unpacked the real shifts that high achieving women make when they stop circling the idea of entrepreneurship and start leaning into building what actually belongs to them. I can't help but think of my recent masterclass that I held, which was take your brilliance and build on it. Take your brilliance and build on it. And I believe that there is this incredible zone of genius where you operate in your gift so easily, and it's so valuable to others that when you step into it, your brilliance is unlocked. And you unlock it from time to time in the professional arena. But just imagine the fulfillment that you would receive and the impact that would be given if you showed up in your brilliance every single day. Now, as a recap from last week, and I'm not reteaching, but on day one, we talked about when success starts to feel heavy. We named the quiet truth. Success on paper can still feel like a burden when it no longer aligns with your purpose. And so if that kind of feels like where you are, where you're a success on paper, I want to invite you to go back to day one. Day two, we talked about why promotions don't satisfy anymore. And we uncovered why climbing higher in someone else's vision will never fill the space meant for your own. You have a vision. You have something that you have been poured into to lead. In fact, your vision is going to encompass other people. Other people are going to come into this amazing vision and be blessed because they'll be a part of what you started. The answer is not in another promotion. The answer is in building your own. On day three, we actually said you don't want to hustle, you want alignment. And we got clear that you're not chasing busyness or burnout culture. That's not who you are. That's not what you're showing up for. The success you have achieved puts you at a place where you can make a very intentional decision to step into the continuation of your success, the continuation of your achievement. And that means you want a business that's going to work with your life, not against it. In fact, I love the phrase, I want my work to fit into my life, not my life to fit into my work. And the key to that is having a business model that gives credence to the lifestyle you want at the beginning. And that is something that I work very, very hard with my clients to do. Now, day four, we talked about you don't have to be ready, but just willing. We broke this myth that readiness comes first. And I showed you how willingness is what actually opens the door to clarity and momentum. And if that sounds like the crossroads that you're like running over in your mind, am I ready? Am I ready? Am I ready? You need to go listen how being willing will actually open that door. And then finally on day five, which was last Friday, we talked about moving from lived experience to lasting impact. I had Jacinta who joined me here. We spotlighted the power of turning what you've been through, your skills, your stories, and lessons into something that serves others, creates change, and builds a legacy. Now, if you missed any of those, the full replays are waiting for you in a playlist on my YouTube channel at Denise Taylor Live. So be sure to go check that out. Now, we are at day 6, and what I want to talk about today is what's in your hands right now. What I want to affirm for you today is as high achieving women, you are not starting at zero. That is such a huge misconception. Anytime we are starting something, we have the basis of our success to build upon. You already have the assets. You already have the relationships. You already have the brilliance that has gotten you where you are. And that is what we're going to build on from this point forward. By shifting your perspective from I need more before I can start to I can start with what I have, you will unlock confidence, clarity, and momentum. Let me say that again. By shifting your perspective from I need more before I can start to I can start with what I have, you will unlock confidence, clarity, and momentum. Today is about inventorying your genius and connecting it to your purpose. For those of you who don't know, my signature framework is purpose plus positioning equals profits. That is the simple framework that is going to allow you to build a business that you are connected to, position it in the market marketplace to attract people who want the solution you're bringing to the market. And together, those two things will drive your profits. By inventorying your genius, by inventorying your zone of genius, what you're good at, and connecting it to your purpose, you can see exactly how it can be repurposed in a business that's both profitable and fulfilling. You don't need anything else to start. You can start with what you have. Now, before you look for something new, take inventory of the genius you already own. And I think this is one of the critical steps so many people fail to do. They fail to take genius or inventory of the genius they already own. They assume something is missing. They assume something is broken. They assume they need more. But too often, way too often, they are looking and delaying their business vision because they think they need more. They think they need more skills. They think they need more connections. They think they need more time. They think they need more clarity. Here's the truth. You already have the raw materials in your hands right now that could form the foundation of your business. Let me say that again. You already have the raw materials right now that can form the foundation of your business. One of the things that I work with people to do, especially when they come and they're a part of my business groups or my business coaching, I get you to business fast. The faster you can take action, the faster your momentum will start. But what I find is there are so many people who put so many things between them and the starting line. They think of all of these things that are missing instead of looking at what they have. And this is why it's so important to inventory what you already have, what you already know. And your success indicates that you have skills. Your success indicates that you have connections. Your success indicates that you have time. Your success indicates that you have clarity. And so you don't need to introduce anything between where you are and your actual start. So before you run out looking for a new degree, looking for a new certification, or looking for a new title, I want you to pause. I want you to stop. You may already be holding the very tools you need to start. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't pick up things along the way. You may absolutely pick up things on the way. But so many times we delay our start because we believe we need more than what we already have. And I want you to know the problem isn't a lack of resources. It's a lack of you recognizing what you have. Today, I want to help you see what's already in your hands. I want to help you see your skills and value them. I want to help you see your influence and value it. I want to help you see your brilliance and value it, because those things, they are extremely valuable, but for some reason we discount them when we assess our own value. We discount our skills, we discount our abilities, we discount our influence, and we discount our brilliance. And those are the building blocks. Those are the materials you already have to build and get started. And it's not random. It's intentional. And I'll prove it to you. Your career says you have it. Your success says you've shown how to use it. But when it comes to you thinking about this amazing pivot to step into the business that you called to do, for some reason, we just start to believe it doesn't hold weight. It doesn't hold value. And so I just want to assert a few points with you. The first one is your skills are not random. The skills that you developed in corporate weren't just for that job. Hear me. The skills that you develop weren't just for that job. They are portable. They are transferable. They are profitable. They are producing outcome and results, and they are powerful. They are difference makers. They're portable, they're profitable, and they're powerful. In corporate, you use them to advance someone else's vision. In business, those same skills can position you as the go-to in your own lane. And you get to decide which ones you keep. You get to decide which ones you evolve, and you get to decide which ones you leave behind. You didn't collect your skills by accident. They've been preparing you for your next chapter. And what has to happen is your thinking needs to shift. We're looking for this next job because we think it will put our skills to work, instead of seizing the next opportunity to put your skills to work when you've been called to start the business. In corporate, they serve someone else's goals, but in business, they can serve your purpose. And so, first of all, here's one example I'd like to share with you. You've managed $1 million budgets in corporate. That's just not financial skill, it's stewardship. In business, that same discipline can help you fund a vision that impacts lives, not just bottom lines. In one aspect, you saw it as a financial skill. In another aspect, it's stewardship. And it helps you to understand you can be trusted with the vision. You can be trusted to see it managed well. Another example is you've led high-performing teams. That's not just management, it's leadership. In business, you can build a team around a mission you believe in. A lot of us do this when we volunteer, whether it's volunteering with our church or volunteering with some community. We put those same skills to work in that space, and they can operate just the same for your business. You're creating impact through people you develop and the clients you serve. And so the skills don't belong to the job. They are portable, they are profitable, and they are powerful, and they belong to you. And I will tell you that probably was one of the biggest eye openers that I have. When I made the choice to walk away from my career and leave that title and that income behind, I had to assert for myself often that everything that made that job great, made those results produce, made that position shine was me sitting in that chair. I brought the magic. And when I left, the magic came with me because it's portable. It doesn't belong to the job. It belongs to me. It's profitable. I know how to put it to work, and it's powerful. It drives income and impact. That's so clearly important. We think our skills are only activated when it's connected to the roles and responsibilities that we have. But the skills we have work for us wherever we are. The second thing that is important is that your influence is currency. And this is so valuable. And so many people discount this aspect. Your influence is currency. Your network isn't just a list of contacts. It's a vault of trust, a vault of credibility, a vault of mutual respect you've built over time. That is what your influence is. In corporate, influence might have been tied to your title. There are some people who only respect the title, and that's unfortunate, but that's the reality. But I know in my experience, I built relationships. I built relationships with the people I worked with. I built relationships with the people who worked for me. I built relationships with people I served within the company when I delivered results from them. But influence is not just title tied. Influence is personal. It's personal. It's rooted in who you are. It's rooted in how you show up. And in business, that influence can be leveraged strategically to create partnerships, to open doors, and to land contracts. This is so powerful and valuable. Influence is currency. Your relationships, your reputation, your credibility are not just nice to haves. They're bridges to impact. And when you tie the currency of your influence to purpose, it's not just about climbing higher. It's about pulling others up with you. A former colleague can open a door for you to speak. A former colleague can open a door for you to consult. A former colleague can open a door for you to partner on a project that aligns with your mission because they trust your integrity and know the heart of your work. This is why influence is currency. A leader you once supported may bring you in to solve a problem you care deeply about, giving you a platform to influence change in an area that matters to you. So it is so important for you to recognize what's in your hand. And so far, we've talked about the skills. So far, we've talked about the influence. And the last thing I'd like to talk about is your brilliance. Your brilliance is your ability to think strategically. Your brilliance is your ability to solve complex problems. Your brilliance is your ability to lead with clarity instead of being tied to a specific role. You begin to recognize it as a part of your professional DNA. Your brilliance is transferable. It's not just connected to corporate. It's not just connected to a role. In corporate, that brilliance was often filtered through someone else's priorities. But in business, you get to direct it towards the problems you want to solve and the people you want to serve. You know, one of the biggest things that I love is when my clients begin to understand the power of their choice as they step into owning their business, as they step into being the CEO. You get to choose who you want to serve. The way you solve problems, the way you think strategically, the way you lead through change is a part of your DNA. It is your brilliance. And when you connect that brilliance to your purpose, it becomes more than a skill. It becomes a calling. Here's what I mean. If you've created systems that save time and money, you can now build them for organizations whose mission you believe in, helping them to do more of the work you care about. If you've guided a company through a major transition, you can now help people or causes you're passionate about navigate change with confidence and clarity. What I wanted to do today was to really give you a glimpse of just a few things that are in your hands right now. They didn't need a certification. They didn't need another degree. They didn't need you to go to a course. They didn't need you to do any of those things, but to just recognize what you have. What's in your hand right now is enough to start. And God is committed to giving you more on the way. Your skills are in your hands. Your influence is in your hands. Your brilliance is in your hands. And you have to shift your thinking because everything you've built so far was training you for the business you're meant to lead. And this is so key. When you connect your skills, your influence, and your brilliance to your purpose, your work stops being just about a job or a title. And it starts becoming a mission for you. And I know exactly how that feels. I know how it feels to get beyond the crossroads of struggling on Sunday night to waking up on Monday, refreshed and ready to go, and chasing significance as my next chapter. It's a continuation of my success. It's a place where I've brought all of those things that made me great in my career to work for me. I brought my skills, I brought my influence and my brilliance. And that's when your next chapter stops feeling risky to you and starts feeling necessary. So here's the mindset I wanted to activate for you today. See, one of the things that we struggle with, and every day I have been whittling away at these racing thoughts. And that is one reason why this live stream series is so powerful. And I want to encourage you to watch the replays. I want to encourage you to tap in. Go to my YouTube channel, which is at Denise Taylor Live. Go back to day one and take the journey. Because the mindset we're activating today is I'm equipped for more than I thought. See, when we think about leaning in and starting our business, and we think about that, our immediate thought is, I am starting from scratch. I am starting over. And that's such a huge misconception. Today, I'll walk through some amazing things that you have. And I want to tell you that's just the tip of the iceberg. You have even more amazing qualities and traits that if I sat across from you for 5 minutes, I could tell you at least 5 more that I perceive about you. So there is absolutely no way you are starting from scratch. You are starting from your strength. What I want you to think about is one skill, one connection, one piece of expertise that is your zone of genius. Something that you already could have as a part of your business foundation because you're great at it. You're great at it. Now, I also want to say this. I am showing up for the people, for the women who are at that crossroads and know that they are being called to start their business, not just any business, but the right business. And if you're ready to take what's in your hands and start building that right business, one that is yours, I want to invite you to join me at Corporate to Entrepreneur Live. It's going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, October 25th and 26th. You'll be in a room with me, an intimate space. You won't be able to hide. You're going to feel me and I'm going to feel you. The presence of both of us will be there. And my job is to usher you into this process and accelerate your success. In this room, here's what you can expect. You are going to map your skills to strategy. We'll pull your career experience apart in a good way so that you can exactly see how your skills translate into offers, how your skills translate into services or products that solve real problems in the marketplace. You're going to make that connection. This is the place where you will stop saying, I don't know what business to start, and start saying, I see exactly where my value belongs. That's what's going to happen in this room. This is also the room where you turn your influence into opportunity. You'll learn how to activate your network without feeling salesy. You'll learn how to position your pivot so people see you as the go-to in your space from day one. The thought leader, the expert in your zone of genius. And will also help you identify the hidden doors your current relationships can open when your purpose is clear. That's what's going to happen in the room. You'll expand your brilliance beyond corporate walls. And oh, is that an amazing feeling? We'll take the way you think, the way you lead, the way you problem solve, and apply it to your own business model, one that reflects your purpose and lifestyle priorities. You see, this is not about building more work. This is your next chapter. So this is about building the right work. The other thing that's going to happen in that room for you is you're going to anchor all of that in your purpose. And it's so important. I've often shared how Dr. Darius Daniels shares that there's three things that happen when we tap into purpose. When we're operating in purpose, we are healthy, we are happy, and we are helpful. And so all of the things that we're going to be doing will be anchored in your purpose, because I want those three things to be a reality for you. I want you happy, I want you healthy, and I want you helpful. So every exercise, every conversation, every real-time coaching moment is designed to make sure your business vision isn't just profitable, but that it's aligned with who you are and what matters most to you. This is how your next chapter becomes your best chapter. This is where work fits into life and not the other way around. And then finally, the last thing that'll happen in that room is you'll leave with a strategic roadmap. No more ideas floating in your head. No more uncertainty of where to begin. You'll leave with clarity on your business model, your next steps, and the confidence to start moving forward. You'll know exactly how to use what you already have in your hands to build something that belongs to you. And so I hope you were encouraged today. I hope that something was said today. And if in fact someone else you know needs to hear this, be your sister's keeper. Share it. Share it with them. If you know they need this message, share this with them. Hit the copy link, share this message with them so that they can get the help that they need. I was so excited Saturday when I woke up, or Sunday when I woke up, and someone else committed to joining the room. That point of commitment, that decision-making point of commitment is a game changer. Once you make a commitment to decide, you begin attracting everything that is needed for your journey, because there's a defining moment that says, I am moving forward. And this room is moving in the direction that you want to go. And so I want to invite you to join us. Go to www.theceoshift.live and get your pre-sale ticket to be in the room with me for 2 days in Charlotte, North Carolina. All right, I'll be back tomorrow. I can't wait to share. Love to do lunchtime with you again. Please share this on your timeline. Please join me again tomorrow. And if you missed, you can pick it back up from the beginning. So much greatness was shared today, or you can go to the YouTube channel and watch the replays there. Have a good day.